how can times of crisis galvanize or motivate organizations to find new methods of reaching CSR goals? It'll be very interesting because, being based out of MP, being a part of a foundation that's one of the largest spenders in India, what, according to you, is going to happen?
Human society being a very dynamic, we have seen through, civilization and history and all, that we are very adaptive. The best part is that we are very adaptive.
Yes.
And that's how the life goes on with our society. So the negative impact, leaving aside, we have learned so many things in that pandemic. Like, for example, sir, for the first time, we have seen at the grassroots level how the rural community, I'm not talking about only the students, but
yes,
in our farm-based sustainable livelihood project that we are having with the BIF, where farmers were exposed to this video conferencing call and Zoom and Google Meet kind of activities. Through that, we were connecting with them. Our experts were, having assessment, having monitoring of that projects. And in these phases, we have 2 rounds of assessment of award assessment that was not done physically, but that we have conducted through online mode. And every farmer, 40, 60 farmer, we have, we have interacted with them through the online mode. And they were very surprised that they were talking to the expert from the agriculture university and some other third-party assessor, and they were getting information and quick updation from online mode. So in that way, the challenges itself was there, but it has made us learn so many ideas, so many things. We got exposure of so many good way, new practices. Through that, we have saved our money, our time, and we got expert advices, and that were very beneficial for them. Like, for example, in our schools, everybody knows that schools, they operated with online mode, and in our society, only approx 40 to 50 max, they were having the Android phone, mobile phone. And the poor community where we are serving, they are mostly the tribals, SC/ST community, OBC community, and from very poor background. The problem was that only few were having and teachers were complaining. They have very good pedagogy, very good system over there, but they were unable to connect to, in a normal time, only I think 40 to 50% they were connected with the syllabus. So it was, there, but other way around, we have learned so many things, like I've shared for the farm-based project we are conducting with the BIF, where farmers, their activities were going on. So in that way, I can say it is a mixed experience that made us, more confident to face the new challenges. Even we can operate at relatively, better speed, better performance.
So as I was sharing about the Learn from Home program, where children used to join from their mobile phone with mobile phones and tablets, we were not able to reach all the children because not every rural child parent affords to get a smartphone, or they have a access to tab. So we were looking out for new methods to kind of keep the children engaged, especially the education sector. So what we did is we also connected, our NGO partners connected with the local TV, cable TV operators, through which we did a broadcast mode. Because in every rural village now, that if you see, there's a TV at the home and there's a local cable operator. So we try to reach out to them and stream the recorded sessions, so that there is a delivery of these classes and these children are able to kind of attend it through the broadcast mode. That's number one. We were actually able to reach over 10,000 children through this program. And as a follow-up to the TV broadcast, there was a workbook model, so that we will understand if the children are able to read, because it's not a two-way communication. It's just like
Right.
you're broadcasting it, right? So we also need to understand if they are able to kind of, get in, they're understanding the concept. So that's where, there was a workbook model that we had. Interestingly, the skilling project, I would want to now go on to the skilling project where, we are training youth on the digital skills, both in terms of IT skills as well as non-IT. So during this pandemic, we were able to kind of, train over 30,000 youth online. So we conducted an
Wow, that's a
online
lot.
training program for them. And, I would like to say that through the digital or virtual job fairs, over 2,000 plus youth got placed in various industries, whether it is online sales, marketing, IT, BPO during this lockdown. So getting jobs itself was a big challenge, when this lockdown was there. So at that point of time, we were able to get over 2,000 youth to get into jobs. So that way, we actually, the whatever the classroom sessions or the in-person training that was done, we're all moved into digital and see how we can also engage them on the virtual fairs. In fact, our volunteers, because the core in LTI is also to engage our employees in volunteering, and over 4,000 plus volunteers were engaged last year in various virtual volunteering activities. So volunteers actually conduct online sessions for them, more in terms of capacity building, helping them how to prepare resume, and also kind of face interview, because face-to-face interview is different and now virtual is different. So they were kind of keeping them kind of pace to kind of adapt to this new normal. Farm Chain, I just wanted to let you know this one of the startup that we supported, through our seed funding, through an IoT based technology, wherein the farmers in the rural area, they were able to sell their products, the marginalized farmers, to the consumers. So this tool actually was helping them give real-time
Wow.
details about the customers who are asking them, those products, and they were able to kind of purchase it online, using the various stages of this supply chain mode. So these were some of the initiatives or new methods that we try to reach out, so that the current programs do not get affected during this COVID.
We believe that severity of any circumstances when gives you a time whether to increase or decrease by the impact it
Absolutely.
creates, right? And the present environment has actually given us ample of time to kind of have self-assessment and unbox the thought process that we probably wouldn't have never thought of exploring had it been a normal time. And this was the time where we actually pitched in, and we found out a new trajectory, a new world altogether, in the form of the digital forum. And right from be it our education program or employability program took a downturn because of that. So talking specifically about the school adoption programs, or the government adopted schools that we have, that became a major challenge initially, to first reach out, because it was not just the students whom we were reaching out to, but here we also had teachers and the other staff members who are part of the entire education ecosystem.
Ecosystem. Yeah.
And especially when it comes to government schools, where I think around less than 20% of the children have access to tools, technology. And at the same time, teachers' capacity building actually took a lot of time. And here, the major role was played by our volunteers, where approximately, in the last year, about 3,500 of our volunteers contributed in training the teachers. And it was as simple as, training them on MS Office, helping them to prepare spreadsheets, etc. So that was the kind of interventions where we realized the strength of our employees, our staff within the organization. And that has actually helped us better the efficiency and the efficacy rate of our overall program into the education sector. Of course, I mean, education today, as we all were talking about, that it still has more to develop on, because most of the students still today are not able to get the basic of the education that they were able to in the normal time. So, but that has been somewhat our interventions, where we are trying to reach out to as many children, as many teachers, come up with train the trainer programs to build their capacities, etc. Now talking about the skilling program, skilling more or less for us has been, since we were into the IT and non-IT domain training. So most of our programs anyway had technology inclusion, and because we cater to youth who are graduates, and of course they come from the underprivileged background, but somehow they have access to technologies. And today even a smartphone can help you to come up to really further understand the processes and build your skills. So moving completely from a physical sort of training to a virtual training did take a sweet time, where we involved our entire different domains that we have within our organization, be it involving the learning and development team, or building bringing in the HR to support the student build up their skills, because had it been a normal time, we would have a lot of other staffs who would support them in building their soft skills. But this was a time where everybody had to come together and support the entire programs. And therefore, as I said, volunteers did play a big role for us, where we involved them even for emergency responses that we were supporting the community with. So I think it is not just technology, but also the human power that we had within our organization that has actually helped us in streamlining the kind of programs that we were looking at, and at the same time delivering to get the maximum impact from those programs.